Kingdom Politics podcast with Pastor Will and Dr. Michael Huffman. And hopefully, we are live on YouTube and X and Facebook, but I don't know if all that works. So, hopefully, we're live. So, if you are watching live, you can put things in the chat and we can answer questions. But we're going to get into the redistricting amendment first, and then we got a lot of different things to cover because we got kind of crazy in the last 48 hours.
Yeah.
So I posted yesterday on Facebook the spending for the Democrats for this redistricting, this gerrymandering, is up to $40 million. It's
crazy, isn't it?
It's probably gonna hit 50 million by the time election day rolls around. It's the most, or sorry, I want to be fair. It's one of the most expensive ballot measures in the entire history of the Commonwealth of Virginia.
Yeah. 20 million of that was brought in by George Soros.
Yeah. So
himself.
yeah. So people know it's when we save 40 million, it is 40 million, most of it from out of the state.
Yeah.
The vast majority of it. I think Mark Warner gave some money to it, so that's in state. I don't know about Kane, but yeah, most of it's out of the state.
But I'm starting to see some more commercials for Vote No. In fact, there was one, not on the television, but there was one, I'm getting some weird feedback on this microphone. There was one on Facebook from an actual Democrat who was telling people to vote no. I reposted it on BAIB's Facebook account this morning.
Yeah, let me check here. Yeah, I think one of the guys who's a Democrat that's running for senator posted that he was voting no. I can't remember his name. I'll look it up real quick. He posted for it. Maryland actually backed out of redistricting in their state because the messaging is so horrible in Virginia that Maryland Democrats are afraid of the backlash because they have elections in the fall.
Yeah, they have every reason to be fearful of that. That's for sure.
And so, I don't know how many people know about Maryland politics. I don't know a ton, but if Maryland is saying this isn't a good idea, we are way off the reservation.
Absolutely, we are.
So we have the Republicans have spent about $5 million. That's probably going to hit 10 million by election day. We have election day in less than a week. If people haven't voted no yet, you need to go vote. Actually, early voting probably closes
Saturday.
No, it's Saturday.
Yeah.
So, okay, it's Mark Moran that said.
Yeah. I remember him.
Yeah, so he's challenging Mark Warner. He's the one that broke party lines and said that this is a bad idea.
Yeah. And there are some Democrats out there that recognize the fact that this is not a good idea. Well, if for no other reason, the time is going to come when the Republicans will be back in power. And the Democrats are not going to want this gerrymandering to be law.
Okay. Well, okay, we're back now recording. Sorry about that.
Wonders of technology.
Yeah, technology is awesome until not so much. I tested all this the other day too, and it worked fine.
Of course.
But yeah, what were we talking about?
The time will come when the Republicans
yeah.
will be back in power. And, thing about it is, Will, it was the Republicans. It was Bill Howe, who was the Speaker of the House in Richmond at the time, that the Republicans, after actually brought him congressional maps that were gerrymandered, and Bill Howe, the Republican Speaker, said, absolutely not. And that's when they came up with this bipartisan redistricting commission. And of course, the Democrats, Louise Lucas and Spanberger and all the Democrats were absolutely thrilled that we were going to have a bipartisan redistricting commission so that the lines were not gerrymandered to the right. Because you and I both agree, gerrymandering is wrong no matter who's in power. The Commonwealth needs to be represented fairly. And like we've said on this show many, many times, 44% of registered voters in the Commonwealth are Republican, 55 are Democrat. I think a 6-5 split is pretty fair. It's pretty even in regard to that percentage of registered voters on either side of the aisle. And so to come off and say, well, we're going to change it to where 44% of the registered Republicans are represented by 92% of the legislative body. I don't know how in the world anybody could know that piece of information, look at the ballot question that says restore fairness, and think that someone is not being completely dishonest about the intentions of this bill. It's an absolute power grab. In fact, two of my yard signs were somewhat vandalized this past weekend.
Really?
Yeah. I've got 2 yard signs that said Virginians for no gerrymandering or some other thing like that. And somebody came in there, and I say somewhat vandalized. They didn't tear them up, but they added a couple of stickers with Trump, and they basically said, I did this. Well, what people don't realize is that the gerrymandering started long before Texas. The first state to gerrymander was the state of New York. The governor in New York saw that the congressional lines were getting a little too light pink for her liking, and she had the redistricting lines drawn to make them more blue. So this started in New York. But another thing that people don't recognize is that in Texas, it was the courts that allowed the redistricting line to be redrawn the way they are. Now, did Trump bring it up? Yes.
Yeah.
But it was the courts of Texas that agreed to do this, not the General Assembly in the state of Texas.
This is where the real disingenuous of this entire vote yes campaign comes in. If Trump cared about Virginia, he would have stepped in during the governor's race.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
He would have already done it.
Yeah. Well, look how late he was giving Winsome Sears, and it even wasn't a full endorsement of Winsome Sears.
No.
It was, she's the better of the two, but it really wasn't even a full endorsement of her. So, yeah, I mean,
I think he made some phone calls.
I
think
so.
it was about power bills.
Yeah, but Trump understands the fact he's not going to keep the majority in Virginia.
No.
He with the way the lines are drawn now, he's not going to keep the majority based on Virginia's vote, and he knows that. And he knows that with Northern Virginia, he's never going to get congressional lines redrawn to get some of those 6 seats back over into the red. So he doesn't even bother. He knew he could get it. He thought he could get it in Texas. He thought he could get it in North Carolina. He thought he could get it in Indiana, and they told him no, they weren't going to do that. But again, it was the courts that made the final decision, not the president and not the General Assembly of the state of Texas. But that's convenient information that people would rather not know, because then they can be happily ignorant in their defiance.
Yeah, it's interesting how, good gracious, it's just they swept everything in the fall elections,
Yep.
and it's not enough. Now they have to mess with it, the maps. Not only that, but they've already got people that are out campaigning for things that don't exist.
Yeah. Dan Helmer, he's a delegate in Richmond. He's running for congressman in the district that doesn't exist yet.
If that's not the most lack of integrity thing ever, we're tricking you into voting for fairness, which is not fair. That if you go vote, I voted the other day and read it in person. I mean, I've read it before, but it's the most disingenuous thing I've ever voted for, or I voted against it. Sorry, but in terms of like to go vote, it's just ridiculous when you read the question.
Makes you want to take that little pen and scratch through restore fairness on the ballot as you vote no.
Yeah, and then to turn around and say, "Oh, I'm running for this," it doesn't even exist yet.
Right. Right.
They're so confident in everything that they do, and so I don't even know where you go with that. Like, it doesn't exist, dude. Like, at least wait till it's real.
At least give the impression that you're trying to be honest.
Yeah, it's just no honesty. It's just, so go vote no for this thing. It is,
Yes.
I talked to, so I would give up early voting gladly, but selfishly, it's pretty awesome. Because I was running errands on Monday, and I was like, "Oh, I'm just going to go vote now, and I'll get it taken care of real quick," because I knew there weren't going to be a ton of people. That being said, I would give it up for election integrity. But anyway, so I went over there, and the two Democrat ladies that were outside of the polling place were not super nice.
Imagine that.
But I did ask. I legitimately do want to try to understand someone else's point of view. But so they said, "Are you going to vote for this?" And I said, "Well, no, definitely not." And they said, "Well, why not?" And I said, "Oh, I think everyone their vote should count. Don't you think that?" Like, and then of course they went into Trump. But then I brought up the same thing. Well, if you're so scared of Trump, where was he? Where was he when you guys won in a landslide? And then their brains kind of melted, and I just said, "Okay, have a nice day."
Yeah, exactly.
It's funny that the same people, and I'm positive those two ladies, I don't know this for sure, but I'm sure they were at a No Kings rally whenever that happened a couple weeks ago. The same people that will go out and scream about No Kings are the same people trying to take people's votes away.
Yeah. Somebody sent me a message today, Will, that they heard it was the young lady I do radio with on Tuesdays down in Chesapeake. She sent me a message that she had just heard a ad on the radio that said that if you vote no for this amendment, then you are voting to take away women's health care.
Oh yeah, no, there was a commercial. I was watching. I can't remember what sporting event. It's either baseball or racing, and it said that if you don't vote yes for this thing, that Trump is going to take away abortion. And I just laughed because he's not even legally allowed to do that. It's
People,
I'm not. I promise you, I'm not making this up.
no, people absolutely do not know their Constitution.
No.
They do not. They positively do not know the separation of powers, and they absolutely, even more so, do not understand the difference between federal and state government. I had a person tell me this a couple weeks ago when we were still in session, and I was telling this person that that about Helmer's bill HB 359 about private schools receiving public funding, and they said, "Oh, I'm not worried about that." And I said, "Well, why aren't you concerned about it?" "Oh, Trump won't let that happen." I said, That's all well and good. I said, but you do understand that Trump has no power in the Commonwealth of Virginia.
Oh yeah.
And that is people's understanding
Mhm.
of civics, of government, is Trump can fix everything. Well, I'm sorry, no, he can't.
No.
He doesn't. He doesn't have the, like you said, he doesn't have the authority. He doesn't have the power to fix anything in the Commonwealth of Virginia unless the federal government has already spoken on it. That's what the 10th Amendment of the Bill of Rights is all about. Is really goes back to the separation of powers. What the federal government has not spoken on, it goes respectfully back to the states or to the people. And people just have absolutely no idea. And what you just said is another example. If we vote no, then Trump is going to take away abortion rights. Give me a break.
No, and it's people don't know the Constitution. They also don't pay attention because Trump literally just funded Planned Parenthood.
Yeah.
He didn't just not take it away. He gave money to it.
Yeah.
So the whole argument is just, but people will get so up in arms. Oh, he can't take this. Like, I will do anything. That's how freedoms get taken away because nobody's paying attention to the actual truth.
That's exactly.
They're just following lies down the rabbit hole of. But what does redistricting even have to do with abortion?
Right.
They will throw anything at the wall
Yep.
to outrage.
Yep. Just anything they can to get people to vote yes.
Anything.
If you vote no, Trump is going to take away your reproductive freedom. What?
No, he can't.
And even if he could, he wouldn't.
No, he wouldn't. No,
He wouldn't.
no. There's very few actual Republicans that would for real vote for
Right.
that.
And even though Trump is the most pro-life president that we've had in a very, very long time, he still would not abolish abortion nationwide if he could, or he would have already done it.
Yeah.
And he doesn't have a Congress that has the courage to do it, or they would have already done it. He doesn't have a Senate that has the courage, or they would have already done it. So, give me a break.
Yeah.
Fear tactics is all it is.
Yeah, it's all it is. Everything from the left is fear tactics. Oh, no kings, but don't worry. Give us your right to vote, and we'll give it back in 10 years.
Yeah. You ever seen a politician get power back?
No. Caesar said the same thing. Give me power. Don't worry, though. I'm going to give it back to you.
Yeah.
And then Rome was ruled by Caesars for the rest of history until they fell.
Yeah, exactly. Well, thankfully, the colonials had better insight than to trust the British when they said, "Let us have your weapons. We'll store them for you."
Yeah. Yeah. And so then so go vote no. They're spending $40 to $50 million. Well, who knows what the final price tag will be. Oh, and they had to import Obama.
Of course.
I forgot about that. Anytime the Democrats need help, they just call that dude, and they just airdrop him in.
Yeah.
And I guess he'll say whatever. I don't know. So it also came out that Governor Spanberger is the least. I'll say this correctly. Oh, the most historically unpopular governor at this point in the most recent governor's terms. 47 approve, 47 disapprove. Those numbers are probably pretty rough. It's probably worse than that.
Yeah.
And she's also the most unpopular governor in the entire country.
Because she lied to people.
She beat Newsom.
That's pretty bad. When Newsom is a better governor than you are, you might as well just throw in the towel, man, and just go do whatever. Go work at the landfill or something if Newsom beats you.
I mean, I know he's on his way out, and they've got their own election problems and stuff, but Newsom would beat her in polls.
I wouldn't vote for that guy for janitor.
No, I would never vote for him either, but we have the least likable governor.
That's incredible. I knew that she was bad. I didn't know she was quite that bad.
I don't think anybody knew it'd be this bad.
Not this early.
No, 3 months in?
I mean, well, I remember me telling you that.
Or 4.
This is her
Yeah, fourth
she's
month.
just in the 4th month. Well, it will be
Well, halfway.
halfway, three and 3/4. I remember sitting in the House chamber 4 days after she got elected and talking about the state of the Commonwealth and talking about what a bright future Virginia has, how Virginia is doing well financially and all this stuff. And I'm sitting up there, I don't know how long her speech was. I think I lasted about 20 minutes. I was invited, so I went, and I think I lasted 20 minutes. That's about all my stomach could take.
Yeah.
And I was listening to this woman, rant and rave about the good state of the Commonwealth, and she wasn't wrong, but Will, she had nothing to do with it. She had been elected to the office less than a week. She had nothing to do with the $5 billion surplus that the Commonwealth of Virginia is enjoying. She had nothing. The other day, she's taking credit for all these businesses coming to Virginia. She has nothing to do with that. You don't do that in 3.5 months, but you've become hated by 47% of Virginians in 3.5 months. So she has managed to do that. Because people don't, I don't care what side of the aisle you're on, people don't want to be lied to.
No, people just, yeah, I saw that come out on social media that she created some kind of mill, and that was Youngkin.
Yeah.
But it came to town when she was governor, though.
Yeah.
So she took credit. That's like when you're the kid in remember when you were in elementary school or middle school or whatever, and you had to do a group project, and there's that one kid who did nothing, but still got an A.
Still got it, yeah. It's like the participation trophies.
Yeah.
You got all these bench warmers, but they still get the Super Bowl ring. They never didn't play a minute in the game, but they get Super Bowl ring.
So she did some stuff with we'll do some Second Amendment stuff because people like that. So before we dive into what she did, I thought this was astounding. The Department of Justice sent her a certified letter. I have it here. I'm not going to read the whole thing. You can find it on the social media and stuff. And anyway, I'll read the first part. Dear Governor Spanberger, this letter provides formal notice that the Civil Rights Division will commence litigation in the event the Commonwealth of Virginia enacts certain bills that unconstitutionally limit the law-abiding Americans' individual right to bear arms, specifically SB 749, which we talked about. I'm sure this has happened before. I don't want to pretend like this is the first time the Department of Justice has sent a governor a letter, but I've never heard of it.
Right. No. I don't know if you heard this week or not, but Superintendent Colonel Jeff Gates with the Virginia State Police has also, this is pretty much telling your boss to go kick the can down the road. Go pound sand, Governor, because he came out with a statement that said, there is no legislative proposal seeking to go door to door to take people's guns, and there will not be. He came out and said, door to door confiscation is un-American, and we will not help in unarming the people of the Commonwealth of Virginia. He said that to his boss, because keep in mind, the state police, they work for the governor.
Yeah.
And he said that to his boss. I think the superintendent also said it when I don't have the quote in front of me, but I think the superintendent also said it when Northam tried this same shenanigan when he was governor. And but yeah, I thought very interesting that the superintendent said, we don't care what the law says. We're not helping you unarm people of Virginia.
This is where people, especially Democratic voters, which I get that they're probably not listening to this show, there is no moderation.
No.
We are at the point where they are literally getting certified mail from the Department of Justice.
Yeah.
Because they're going to infringe on their rights and they're going to get sued. And who pays for that? Taxpayers.
Yeah.
They don't care. They're just going to push their agenda and you're going to pay for it. the surplus that Youngkin built is going to be gone in no time, just on court cases.
We're going to, I think that we will end her 4 years in a deficit.
Oh, yeah.
Because that's what happens when Democrats take over.
Every time.
Every city, every state that's run by a Democrat. Look at the governor of Maryland. Governor of Maryland inherited from a Republican governor about a $5 or $6 billion surplus, and within 2 years they were in a $2 or $3 billion deficit in Maryland. So whenever a Democrat takes over, deficits are going to happen, even if they inherit a surplus.
So she changed some last minute amendments to these gun bills. I know you posted a thing about it on Facebook. They are intent on pushing the boundaries. Well, that's not even a good turn of phrase, actually, because they're going to get sued by the Department of Justice or by the NRA. So here's what the NRA had to say. This is from their executive director. These changes don't fix the bills. They merely attempt to rebrand blatant violations of law-abiding Virginia's Second Amendment rights. Such cynical political maneuvers reveal not only her contempt for constitutional freedoms, but also her disregard for hundreds of thousands of responsible gun owners across the Commonwealth. And here's the cool part. Our message to the governor remains the same. We'll see you in court.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're just waiting. They're waiting for them to become law, and then they're going to sue.
Yeah.
And who loses at the end of the day is not rich people.
No.
It's not her. I mean, her political career, I think, is probably done at this point.
Yeah.
I mean, she'll get her 4 years.
Yeah. They won't impeach her, but yeah, I think she's done. Because believe it or not, I'm going through all the bills that she's got recommendations for. She signed 900, and I think I posted the other day, she signed somewhere around 971 bills into law. She vetoed like 9 or 10, and over 130 some she wrote recommendations. One of the ones that she wrote recommendation for was HB 217, was Dan Helmer's assault rifle bill.
Yeah.
And every bill that she made a recommendation for that I've read thus far, she has made it more progressive, more to the left, than it passed the progressive woke General Assembly. For example, in HB 217, the General Assembly passed the bill that basically stated that if you have a fixed capacity magazine that can hold 10 or 15 or more rounds, then it's considered an assault rifle. She changes the language. She takes out the word fixed.
Yep.
So what it does is it includes a whole lot of other firearms as assault rifles. And if you take your AR-15 or any gun that's listed in this bill, and you take it out of state after July 1st, you take it out of state on a hunting trip or training or whatever you do, get this, you cannot legally bring that gun back into the Commonwealth of Virginia, because now you are importing an assault rifle. It belongs to you. You are a citizen of the Commonwealth of Virginia, but because of her silliness in Richmond, you will be considered a felon, not a felon, class 1 misdemeanor, which is 12 months in jail or a $2,500 fine according to the code.
You're definitely going to go to jail.
And you're going to go to jail just for bringing back into Virginia a gun that you own. I mean, that's how silly this stuff is.
All of this is, God, it's just, again, these are the same people who will scream about their rights and about no kings and inclusion and on and on and on, just screaming at the top of their lungs. And they're the same people who will just take away your rights in a heartbeat and not even think about it.
Not think twice. Let me give our listeners those numbers, because I don't like to make claims and not be able to back them up. But Governor Wes Moore, he became governor of the of the state of Maryland in 2022. And Governor Hogan, when his administration ended, they had a $5.5 billion surplus. $5.5 billion, it's a lot of money. That was a $3 billion, I think it was divided as a $3 billion rainy day fund and a $2.5 billion structural surplus or something like that. Within 2 years of Wes Moore taking office, here were the projections. A $418 million, you got a $5.5 billion surplus, and within 2 years, a $418 million deficit by early 2025. A $2.5 billion deficit projected in late 2024, and a $3.3 billion deficit projected by January 2025.
And they can't rebuild a bridge.
And they can't rebuild a bridge. Because they expanded Medicaid costs because they were giving Medicaid to who?
Yeah. People who
illegals.
Yeah.
That was $14.6 billion that they didn't have to spend.
Yeah, again, it's the same people screaming about no kings while we spend all the money.
Yeah.
It drives me insane because you could have done so many good things with that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And they didn't. It's just gone. It's just wasted.
It's power thirsty. And okay, point example, Scott Surville. Scott Surville is a state senator from Eastern Fairfax.
Yeah.
Your neck of the woods.
Oh, yeah, my favorite
You're a
dude.
senator, isn't he?
He is.
I'm sorry.
I know. It's good times.
I don't know why you haven't moved down here where it's a little bit better.
Oh, my gosh.
It's not much better down here where we're recording this, but
Couple months. We're out.
Well, that'd be good.
Yeah.
Come on down to Louisa.
We might keep going.
Anyway, at least we got Buddy Fowler and John McGuire and Bryce Reeves as our state senator, so we got pretty good representation in 5. But Scott Surville proposed, and this is one of the ones she vetoed. Give the devil his credit. This is one she vetoed. He proposed, and it passed the General Assembly, to expand casino gambling in the city of
I know all
Fairfax.
about that one.
Yeah, I bet you do. And from what I understand, the board of supervisors didn't want it.
No one did.
Nobody, yeah, but he kept pushing it.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what that tells me? These guys don't care about the people they represent. They care about their special interest groups. And I walk into their offices down at the Capitol and I say, what I want you to do this session is I want you to vote the way your constituents want you to vote, not the way the people that line your pockets and keep getting you reelected want you to vote.
Mm-hmm.
You're not down here to represent special interest groups. You're down here to represent the people of your district. And what Scott Surville proved by the pushing of that casino gambling bill that nobody wanted is that he's all about whoever is lining his pockets,
Yep.
not about the people that he represents at Eastern Fairfax.
Yeah, he was the only one. So, I mean, I'm very critical of Fairfax on a number of fronts.
But
But
a good reason to be.
I will give credit where it's due. Everyone, and I mean literally everyone, citizens, the board of supervisors, anyone that had a voice at all. Where I lived, it's an association. It's like a different kind of town. Everyone that I know was like, this is a terrible idea.
Yeah.
In Fairfax, he's the only one who was pushing that. Only one. And he still kept going. That's how you know that they're for sale.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's all about money. It's all about money. It's not about the fact, it would just help the economics of Fairfax. Yeah, that's the lie that's told.
Oh, it's a big lie.
Okay, but that's not what it's really about. It's that somebody with Hard Rock Cafe or whatever casino is coming, or whatever lobbyist represents the casino lobby, is padding his pockets. And I butt heads all the time with the pro gambling lobbyists. I'm friends with some of them, but and we have different perspectives on when I got in committee and debated against the skill gambling and all those things, which she vetoed that as well, from what I understand, if Virginians, if in order to expand gambling, if Virginians have to lose, the thing about gambling is the house always wins or it closes the doors. And when you can build, multiply millions or billions of dollars in casinos and hotels and restaurants and things like that, the house isn't losing very often, but the hardworking people of Virginia are. And did you know, Will, that people that are addicted to gambling are 17 times more likely to attempt suicide?
Oh yeah. So, yeah, the gambling thing drives me crazy because I love sports so much. And so first off, with casinos, it's something like a 15-mile radius of the casino, somewhere around there. It might be a little bit smaller, but not much. But I believe it's a 15-mile radius around a casino. The crime rate goes through the roof, like unbelievably. But this is how you know that they're, and this is any government too, federal too. The whole gambling thing drives me crazy. So this last year, Americans lost over $100 billion gambling. That's $100 billion gone. Well, not gone, to gambling companies. It's legal in Virginia. I can download it on my phone right now. Whatever the apps are, and I'm not even going to give them, we ain't that big of a show, but I'm not even giving them any kind of press. You can download the apps though. You can gamble on. I promise you, there's probably baseball on right now.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
And you can gamble on all kinds of stuff. And they're so, and this is where, like, what are we even doing with our time? Like, they're so worried about, no one's helping gambling addicts.
No.
They'll pass a law of like, hey, we should look into this and spend $20,000 of useless money and create a group to study it. You don't have to study it. It's a terrible idea.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's already been studied for decades.
One of the biggest casinos in the Commonwealth of Virginia is in Chesapeake, Portsmouth area. And you want to guess who sold them that property?
Who?
Louise Lucas.
Oh, I wonder how much she got. For brokering the deal. That's how you know they don't care about you.
She owned the property. She sold the property to the casino for them to build the casino on. She made billions. She pocketed billions.
Yeah, this is how you know all of it is nonsense, because, like, to go back to the Second Amendment rights and with gambling, it's not legal gun owners that are the problem.
No.
It's illegal gun owners that are the problem. And yet they don't do anything about crime. They just let them back out on the streets.
Right. Those guys are going to continue to be armed.
They will push and push these casinos. They will let legal gambling come in. Imagine how much money, I don't know what the state of Virginia loses in gambling every year, but here's another good stat for you. Roughly 1 in 4 sports bettors miss a bill payment due to wagers. So you're not even paying your bills.
I have sat in the gas station line beside a man or a woman with a young child who was dirty, begging for something to eat, no shoes on, while that adult bought $200 of lottery tickets.
Well, yeah, that's where it started, the lottery. Again, it's all testing the waters. So we did the lottery for a long time. Then they tried those machines in the gas stations. And now it's just in your phone. I mean, you can lose your entire bank account in the span of 20 minutes.
In sports betting in 2024, Virginians lost $6.93 billion
Oh my God.
in just sports betting in 2024.
Well, there's the Democrats' tax revenue right there.
Yep.
I just solved your tax problem.
Yep.
Make illegal gambling, or make gambling illegal again, and boom, Democrats, you got your taxes. And then you can go about your DOJ lawsuits with some cash in your pocket.
In 2024, casinos, Virginians lost $732 million. In 2025, they lost $969 million. This is the hard-working people of Virginia.
Yeah.
Who have addictions, many of them.
Sure.
They are losing money on the 1 in 1.5 trillion of a chance that they're going to make it big.
Yeah.
And they're just giving their money away. And like you said, they're not paying their bills. They're losing their homes. They're losing their cars. Their kids are going hungry. They're losing their marriages, and many times they're taking their own life. 17% of them attempted. 31% of that 17% are actually successful because of gambling. But you have state representatives pushing for it,
Yeah,
as
take
if
money.
it's some grand thing. Even down this year, like you were talking about, right to your cell phone. I don't have to go to a casino.
No.
I just sit in a little easy chair in my living room. Now, the only good thing they did, if you can call this good, is, and this still had holes in it, is they did pass a bill that said you couldn't use a credit card. Well, hello, let me ask you. You can't give cash to a cell phone.
Yeah, you just link it to your
Somewhere
bank account.
along, yeah, you're going to link it to Venmo or PayPal, which is funded by what? Credit card, checking account number. I don't care if it's your credit card or your checking account number. You're either giving the money away now or you're giving it away in 30 days when you have to pay that bill, if you can pay it.
Yeah, either way, it's gone.
It's just,
It's dumb.
it's almost like, okay, they throw you this bone, just say, okay, we're not as evil as these other betting bills make us seem. We do care about people, so we're going to say, you can't use your credit card. Big deal.
Yeah, that's the dumbest thing
I
I've
mean,
ever heard.
My PayPal account is linked to my checking account, my credit card. So either way, if one doesn't go through, the other automatically backs it up. So pardon me if I don't rejoice in your being the paragon of integrity for helping people not to get addicted to gambling by saying that they can't use their credit card. That's almost like saying you go to a porn site and you've got to be 18 years old, of age or older. The only thing you got to do is check a box.
Yeah, we put that pop up on there.
Yeah. How about just getting rid of the porn sites?
Yeah.
How about if you really want to? Now we really are getting off the rails now.
That's all right.
But if you really want to protect the people of Virginians, if you really want to protect the young people, then make those sites. Stop calling those sites freedom of speech.
Yeah.
And get rid of them.
Yeah.
Make them illegal. Whenever somebody tries to search a certain string or go to a certain website, this is illegal in this state. If you're bouncing off a cell tower in the Commonwealth of Virginia, it's illegal for you to go to these sites. We do it all the time.
Yeah. You can control the internet.
Yeah.
You absolutely can. And that's how you know, like, Democrats don't care about women.
No.
If Democrats cared about women, they would outlaw pornography.
Yes, they would. Yes, they would. We Mamie Locke patroned the bill this year. Backstory. So bear with me, folks. Backstory. I was in a JLARC committee meeting last year before session started, and normally JLARC is a boring meeting. They're usually talking about budgets and numbers and money and all that. And I gotta go next week. I go just to see what I can find out.
Right.
Well, I went to this JLARC meeting not expecting to hear anything much, but I went, and the first thing they brought up was the bill that was passed in 21 that required school boards to make a list of books in their library that were of a sexually explicit nature. Well, what was happening is that school boards, what I learned at this meeting, is that school boards were not making a list. They were getting rid of the books. And do you know that the Democrats on the JLARC committee, Senator or Secretary now, Adam Evan, Delegate Charnel Herring, Secretary Candy Mondoon King, were lamenting the fact that they were getting rid of the books. That's not what we intended by the bill. So I looked up the original bill. Not one Democrat voted in favor of it, of even the school making this list and making that list available to mom and dad. So the Democrats so have here thinking, okay, what do you mean that wasn't our purpose in the bill? You voted against the bill. If you had had your way about it, these kids would be infiltrated and permeated with sexually explicit nature, and their mom and dad wouldn't even know about it because you voted no for the bill. And then Louise Lucas or Mamie Locke rather, gets up in session this year and patrons a bill that I debated her against and just absolutely expanded sexually explicit things in school, not only the books, but audio and video. But yet we care about kids.
Yeah, they don't. I don't care.
It's SB6, go look it up.
Yeah. SB6, look that up. Any adult, your primary function is to do what? Protect children.
Yeah.
Now, some people don't have kids. That's fine. There's still kids in your life somehow, probably.
Yes.
I'm venturing to guess.
Yeah.
Whether it's a nephew or niece or cousin or whatever. Why are we not protecting the innocence of, this is a true story. When my kid was at public school still, and they, I don't know what it's called, Family Life, I think they called it.
Yeah.
And so they sent an email or something home and said, this date is the Family Life date. And I said, oh gosh, what is this? And so I emailed the teacher and said, hey, I need you to tell me what's going to be taught. I will give forever. I give credit where it's due. She gave me it. And good gracious, my wife,
Right.
my wife is the nicest lady I know besides my mom. And man, she was mad. And so I said, all right, I'll take care of it. He's just not going to go to school that day. But I did talk to the teacher. I said, what are you doing? He's in 4th grade at the time. And this wasn't that long ago. She said, well, we want them to be ready. Ready for what? The kid just needs deodorant. That's all he needs. Tell him to put deodorant on for me. If you could help me with that, if you could help me get him to wear deodorant, we're good.
Yeah.
He doesn't need the rest of the sexual stuff they were going to go into. And because they want, that's how they frame it though. Well, we want the kids to be prepared. Prepared for what?
Right.
No. Let them be kids.
Right.
Good gracious. So he didn't go to school that day. Actually, he didn't go to school the rest of the week. Because then we got worried about the playground and what the kids were talking about. So we just kept him out of school for the whole week.
Let it kind of play over.
And again, to show you they don't care, nobody called us and said, hey, how come your kid hasn't been to school in a week? I just thought of that. That never happened. He wasn't there for a week and a day and nobody cared. Well, to be fair, that might be because they knew that it was my kid and they might not want to call me.
Yeah, maybe.
But yeah, they don't. Why put these things in schools? If you care about what, here's another one I was thinking about too. Governor Spanberger and her approval rating so low, and she runs on, she's the first female governor. I didn't vote for her. You didn't vote for her. But regardless of how we feel, that is a historic, that's always hers. I mean, I agree with it, but it's always hers. And then 13 young girls get molested in a Fairfax high school, and she says nothing. As the first female governor. A woman gets murdered at a bus stop, and Nick Minot tried to interview her, and she said something about it was ISIS' fault and ran to her Tahoe.
Yeah.
The first female governor doesn't stand up for women.
She has no answers.
Well, yeah, that's the real story.
But I get what you're saying. I mean, you would think if anybody would want to stand up for the women of Virginia, you think it'd want to be a female person who was in power to do something about it.
Especially the first.
I mean, write an executive order.
Yeah.
If you can't get it through your party's control, that's the thing. If she tried, she would not successfully get a piece of. If she could convince one Democrat delegate or senator to write a bill that would actually protect women in sport, because I've sat in committee and I've watched them PDI, bypass indefinitely, bills that protected women in sports.
No.
If she got a delegate or a senator, a Democrat, if she convinced them to go against the party and write a bill that protected women in sports, protected women in the bathrooms and locker rooms, it would not pass this General Assembly in Richmond because they are not interested. So write an executive order, but she won't do that either.
No. Same people, women's rights, reproductive health, but we're going to take your scholarships away and give them to some dude who's pretending to be a girl.
Mm-hmm.
I grew up. I played athletics, and I was an All-American in college. Uh, I knew a lot of female athletes over the years. I know how hard they work. Uh, I saw Riley Gaines speak one time, and I got to hear her entire story about what happened at Kentucky. And again, where they're not protecting women. That's what it always comes down to. Instead, they'll take the scholarships away. So we're all for reproductive health, all for killing your baby, all for that stuff. But you can't play sports anymore. We're going to let dudes do that now.
Yeah.
And then they try to tell you that somehow that's not an advantage, which it's just dumb.
Yeah.
Like, why are we arguing about this? This is the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I misspoke a few moments ago on the bill numbers, SB 19.
19.
And what the bill does is that the bill says that schools only have to notify. Now, the original bill that passed back when the Republicans were in power, all books parents had to be notified. This bill says that schools only have to notify parents about sexually explicit content when a teacher assigns the material in class. It says that the library books do not count as instructional material. So they can have all kinds, and this is for this also included elementary schools. So they can have all kinds of sexually explicit books in the library, and the parents don't have to know about it. But only if the teacher assigns that as because only that is included in considered instructional material.
So if people want to look it up, you have to look up SB 19 from 2025.
Yeah, SB 19. Yep.
And yeah, it's instructional material. What are we doing?
We're creating a generation of perverts by giving them information that they're not mature enough to handle. Don't know what to do with the okay, you take a 6th grade boy. 6th grade, I remember being in 6th grade. Do you?
Yeah.
I remember the changes that were starting to happen in my body when I was when I was in the 6th grade, and I wasn't a Christian in the 6th grade. Can you imagine taking a young boy who doesn't have the restraining power of the Holy Spirit and teaching him about sex, explicit? The bill says sexually explicit material. Teaching that boy about sex, teaching him that, and letting him go into the girls' bathroom and locker room if he wants. Can you imagine what that young boy will do with that information?
Oh yeah, it's bad. The truth about pornography is that it floods your brain with endorphins.
Mm-hmm.
It's akin to heroin. This isn't even a Christian thing. That's science.
Yeah.
They've done studies on it. Pornography, use of pornography is the same as heroin. Mm-hmm. In the same vein as heroin, it only continues to get worse in terms of what you're looking at. So things that, I don't want to get like super explicit, like I don't even know what to call it, like regular pornography, I guess.
Images instead of video.
Yeah, images. Anyway, people wonder why there's all these like child predators now. Well, it's one of the reasons why is the prolonged use of pornography, because you have to keep going further and further to get the same amount of endorphins because your brain becomes used to it. This is why Christ, I was talking about this the other day at a Bible study. One of the things, particularly people from the left will say, well, I can't be a Christian because it's there's rules and they think that freedom means sin. No, the sin is the actual bondage.
Right.
The rules and commands that God gives us and Christ reinforces protect you.
Yeah.
And actually give you freedom.
Yeah. I had somebody tell me that one time.
The rules thing?
The rules thing. And I said, where do you work? McDonald's. I said, what do you wear to work? Oh, I have a uniform. I said, guess what? That's a rule. Life is about rules.
Yeah.
But what you're saying is absolutely true. We're not worried about the rule, we're worried about the bondage.
Yeah. Well, the funny thing about the left, too, is the whole rule thing is that they have rules, too. Now, the nice thing about following Christ is you have repentance. You don't have repentance on the left. You break a rule, you're donezo's.
Yeah.
They're proving it right now. With all these bills, they're proving it with the redistricting. If you dare, look what they did to that Democratic senator, or candidate rather, that we talked about at the beginning. They railed that guy. He's not going to win.
No.
And he stood up and did the right thing. I don't know his politics at all. I just know what he said, but he's not going to win.
No. And this bill, SB 19, has already been signed by the governor. So it'll become law July 1st. It was signed by the governor on the 6th.
This is where people really need to understand Republicans that don't vote, Christians that feel like they need to stay in the church. Actually, I'm going to pull up a quote or scripture before we close, but they'll say like, well, it's not our business or whatever excuse they want to come up with. And
I'd love to see another man using Logos.
I love it. And meanwhile, we are literally passing bills that say it's okay to have explicit books in schools. And if you think that your kid's not going to read it or that you're going to be able to opt out of it, ask Maryland how that went. Maryland had to go to the Supreme Court because they were reading it to elementary school kids.
Well, based on this bill right here, what are you going to do? Opt them out of the library? You can't go in the library. I'm going to, yeah, I mean, it's silly.
The sad thing is, the only way to fix the schools is to honestly start over from scratch. It's so bad. You can't. Your only choice is a private school or homeschool.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, so you have two choices. I should have said that grammatically correctly. And people will say like, oh, like just to give a plug for private schools, people will say, well, I can't afford that. Well, that's what my wife and I thought too. And we went to a Christian school and we just told them the truth. We said, this is what's going on. We need help. And they helped us. Now, yes, we pay. And yes, my wife and I sacrifice a lot for him to go there.
Sure.
But they also sacrificed for us, the school did, in terms of monetary, what they normally charge. And so people need to explore your options. Don't be defeated right out of the get-go. But this is what I wanted to close with, kind of Revelation chapter 21 for the Christians, because that bill you brought up, the redistricting, all this stuff going on. Look what Jesus says. This is all the way at the end of Revelation. A new heaven, a new earth is happening. It's literally the end. And Jesus says, those who are victorious will inherit all this. It's after he goes through everything that we'll inherit. And I will be their God, and they will be my children. But the cowardly, the unbelieving, the vile, the murderers, the sexually immoral, those who practice magic arts, the idolaters, and all the liars, they will be consigned to the fiery lake of burning sulfur. This is the second death. I always find this verse interesting because throughout the Bible, they talk about sexual immorality. They talk about the dangers of magical arts, or whatever you want to call it. Obviously, murder they talk about. Christ, in this instance, in this verse, he lists cowardly first. And there's no misplacement of words in the Bible.
No.
Every word is exactly where it's supposed to be for a reason.
Yep.
I find it very interesting that at the very end, when he's given you everything, picture-wise, prophecy-wise, that he says, but by the way,
yes,
the cowardly, you don't get this.
Yeah.
I think about that a lot.
Very interesting. Very interesting.
I think when we look at what's going on in Virginia, and not just Virginia, but other states as well, but we live here, whether it's the schools, the kids, the justice thing we talked about, the fairness of the redistricting, all these happen because the church is quiet. And I think that's why at the end, Jesus gives you this picture of, look, this is what happens at the end.
Yeah.
So you get the destruction of Babylon a couple chapters before this, but then at the very end, he gives you, streets of gold, living water, a river, the throne. You get all this amazing things. And then he says, but the cowardly, and that's listed first. That's a hard one to reconcile for a lot of people.
It is. It is. One of the verses I use a lot, Will, and down in Richmond is Proverbs 12:20. Deceit is in the heart of those who devise evil.
Mm.
When you read the gerrymandering amendment question, even the abortion amendment question, and the same-sex marriage amendment question, you see the deceit, and the deceit is in their heart because evil is there. They have evil plans, evil intentions, and it comes out in the lies that they tell.
I got another proverb for you. Oh, I didn't write it down. Yeah, it's all in the lies. It's all in the. Man, what was that? I wrote it down. Should have prepared better. I didn't know we were going Proverbs. I just read a good one the other day.
You never know where we're going to end up.
I know. Man, we really... Oh, you know what? It was in my... Proverbs 29:18. I was one Proverbs away. Where there is no revelation, people cast off restraint. The church talks about heaven so much. You know what they don't talk about a lot? The second coming of Christ. That really convicted me in the last because I did Revelation from the pulpit, but one of the things that really convicted me was that we talk about heaven and eternity so much that we don't really discuss the second coming of Christ. And that's what this proverb is talking about. When there is no revelation, people cast off restraint. And you see it now. In what's going on in the culture, we are sexualizing children. Men are wearing dresses. The restraint is long gone. Because nobody's preaching, Christ is coming back and you better get right before he gets here. You better get right because the King of Kings is coming, and everybody bows then. Your great philosophy of, well, is there a God or not? Which is, I stopped answering that question a long time ago. That's the dumbest question in the world. The question is whether or not you follow Christ. Right. You're obedient to Christ. And if we had more pastors out there preaching, Christ is coming. What are you going to do when that trumpet sounds? Because that trumpet's going to sound one day. And then all of a sudden, all these bills we talk about, what your polls are doing as governor and all these things, they don't matter at all anymore because the true king is back.
Amen. Yeah. And every knee will bow and every tongue will confess.
Yep.
It was interesting, that verse that you brought, Proverbs 29:18. The Hebrew phrase, read that again for me.
So it's Proverbs 29:18, where there is no revelation, people cast off restraint, but blessed is the one who heeds wisdom's instruction. So that's out of NIV.
Yeah, I like the phrase cast off restraint. It's a Hebrew word. It literally means they're out of control, which cast off restraint, same thing. But they're out of control. When people don't know truth, restraint is gone.
Amen. Yeah, you think there's no consequences,
right? Yeah. Why do people that have walked with God? Why do popular people that have walked with God fall into sin? Because somewhere along the line they lost the accountability.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, how many pastors, how many preachers do we know that are itinerant, very popular, And the next thing you know, you find out that for the last so long they've been, been doing this, doing that, doing the other, because they lost the accountability.
Yeah.
One of the things that I love about my job, and you got the same blessing in yours, is even though I'm on the road about 2,500 miles a week, I got back yesterday. Just a 1 day trip yesterday, or 2 day trip yesterday, overnight trip yesterday. I got back at 700 miles in one trip.
Wow.
And I do about 2,500 miles a week, but I'm home most nights. One of the things that I love about that is I come home every night to my accountability partner, which is my wife.
Yeah.
She holds me accountable for my behavior. Now, in a fair world, I would have to hold her accountable too, but she doesn't do anything wrong as far as what she says. So I'm just accountable to her. But how many people do we know that they spend more time away from home doing God's work, but they spend more time away from home? The accountability is gone. The revelation is gone. The teaching is gone because they're doing all the teaching. They're not receiving any teaching because they're never at home. So therefore, they're out of control.
Yeah, it's
Society's the same way.
well because when we did the marriage thing, we cheapened marriage, and
Yeah.
I go home every night. Very rarely am I not. Maybe once a year, I think, and that might even be a stretch where I'm somewhere for a weekend or a couple days, and my wife's not with me. To see my son every day, it's what God gave him to us.
Yeah.
Just like you said, to keep us accountable, to give us something to a partner in life.
Absolutely.
And I'm in charge of their protection and all that good stuff, but it works both ways. But again, that's why, one of the Marxist teachings is you got to take care of you got to knock out the family.
And look how many pieces of legislation passed in 2026 at the General Assembly of Virginia that are anti-family.
Yeah, what a stance. I was thinking about this the other day. We live in a time when we are treading on treason.
Yes.
In some of these bills, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And now, granted, I might have a different definition than most people because I had a top secret clearance at one point in my life, and I take all that stuff pretty serious. So I might look at it a little bit more serious than some people. If I did something to get a letter from the DOJ, I would classify that as you're treading on treasonous grounds.
Yeah. I wouldn't take that lightly at all.
No. I look at what we're doing to the family. Why? Well, I know why, but why is in you? A lot of these people have families. These delegates, these Democrat delegates, they have families. Why would you vote for these things? That's how you know that they don't care. Anything I do, I think, is this going to help my son? Is it going to hurt my son? Is it going to hurt my wife? Is it going to help my wife?
Well, why would a Democrat that's a mother or father vote yes and have kids in the public schools in Virginia, vote yes for a bill that's going to allow sexually explicit material in the school library? And I don't have to know about it. And I'm a delegate or senator, and I'm going to vote yes for that.
Yeah.
Are you really that? I'm sorry, Will. Are you really that stupid?
Yeah,
that blind that you want your fifth grader having access to sexually explicit books in their library, and you not know a thing about it? Well, and you walk into your sixth grader, your fifth grader's bedroom, because every kid's got a computer in their room now. I mean, fifth graders have got smartphones. You walk into their bedroom and they're watching porn as a fifth grader because it got started with access to stuff in public school.
Absolutely.
And you voted yes for that.
Yeah.
But it's Romans 1. It's a reprobate mind, Will.
Yeah, it's a reprobate mind, and there is no. I mean, I don't know. I don't want to stand before God and say, yeah, I voted to have this in kids' schools.
No, not at all.
I don't think that conversation is going to go well. I don't think it'll be very long either.
No. No.
I don't like to speak for God, but I think we're pretty okay to speak for him on that one.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
It's like I tell people when they try to give me an excuse in the church, I say, don't give me an excuse you couldn't give God. Or try to. And that usually shuts them down.
well, that's the interesting thing about particularly the left. Who are you accountable to? I'm accountable to God. I don't really care too much what people think about me. I have a group of people, yourself included. It's a very small group of people that I care for their respect.
Sure.
But generally, I don't really care. I care more what God thinks.
Absolutely.
And that's a very, again, freedom.
Yeah. And if you care more about what God thinks of you, you're not going to have to worry about earning those people's respect. You don't have to worry about earning my respect because I saw you immediately as a man of God. So you do that, you'll automatically get the respect from the people that matter.
Yeah, same to you as well. Yeah, but on the left, when you're beholden to the party, you know, I don't understand how you live like that. You got to be outraged about something different every 3 days. It's got to be exhausting. It's got to be exhausting lying all the time. I can be critical of Governor Spanberger, but good gracious, it's got to be exhausting.
Yeah. How do you keep up with all those lies? Can you imagine the Journal?
Oh my gosh, how do you keep up with it all? How do you keep up with? Oh, we'll close with this because I thought it was funny. They did ask her about the popularity. Popularity is not the right word. The approval rating, and she said that if she's so unpopular, how come she's on both people's mailers? Well, you're on both of them because you said both things.
Yeah.
You said it was unconstitutional, and now you're saying we need to do it.
Yeah.
So we got you both.
Popular and dumb.
Like, how do you? I don't even know. Like,
yeah.
like, I really do try to like have a little bit of empathy, and I don't know how you. It's got to be. Maybe that's why she looks so stressed out all the time.
You know, it goes back to what John Kennedy, Senator from Louisiana, said. I use this all the time. He said, I get up every morning, two things. I get up every morning, and I want to follow Jesus. By 10 o'clock, I still want to follow Jesus, but I want to smack somebody. Second one that I use all the time is, Lord, give me patience. Because if you give me strength, I'm going to need bail money.
My son's favorite one from him is because he's starting to get more interested in politics and the Constitution and stuff. And his favorite one from that senator is when I don't remember what he was talking about, but he says, I'm not saying you're the stupidest person in the world, but you better hope that guy doesn't die.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, I've got some people just between you and me and who's ever listening. It doesn't really have anything to do with podcasts, but I've got some people coming to the May 9th apologetics class from Winchester.
No way.
Wow.
Yeah, we should really start plugging stuff. People that listen, we're really honestly trying to get better at this. And so, yeah, let's plug some stuff. We have May 9th, we're having an apologetics class here at Hollywood Church. You can check the social media, Facebook on mine, or the Instagram. It's myself and you and Mike Morrissey and Pastor Shane Boast and Delegate Phil Scott. We're going to make a day of it. We're going to have lunch. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be apologetics. We're going to teach people how to defend their faith because so the reason this came about is because I'm going to be honest with you. I thought churches just did that. Sometimes my own naivety gets the best of me. I really thought every church did that. It turns out only a really small percentage of churches actually teach apologetics. I taught it to the teenagers at our church. That, by the way, maybe not the best idea to teach teenagers how to argue. But it was a lot. After they got past the ability to get upset at each other over arguments and conflict, it actually was a lot of fun. So we have that on May 9th. May 2nd, we're having Christ and Culture Night here at Hollywood Church. Kristen Hawkins is going to be here that night. It's at 7 p.m. We are asking people that if you're going to come to that, if you go to studentsforlife.org/Christ and Culture, I think, to register, because we're expecting a large crowd. What else? There's a revival this weekend that I'm closing on Saturday. I think I'm going to bring a lot of hellfire and brimstone.
You are?
I think so.
Okay.
So, I don't know.
What church is it at?
It's actually down at the Patawomack Indian Tribal Center.
Okay.
Yeah, they got a huge place. We're doing an old school tent revival. It's going to be awesome.
Cool.
So that's Friday and Saturday. Next week, we're going to do our best to live stream from Richmond.
Yes. Then you can reconvene session, yeah.
So that's April 22nd.
Yeah. All day it will go. Let me see if I can see from their website what time it's going to start, if they posted that yet. Usually starts about 11 noon, which is what time they usually convene.
Man, I wish my day started that.
Yeah, it's true. I start my work at the crack of noon.
Oh, man.
Well, it's probably going to be, because Senate Rules meets that day at 10 a.m., so it's going to be after that. So it's they haven't put on here, so it's probably going to be 12, but it will go. It just depends. I mean, she didn't veto as much as Governor Youngkin did. Governor Youngkin vetoed over 400 bills just last session. She vetoed 10, or 9 or 10.
Yeah, 9 or 10.
But we're making recommendations just a little over 100, so it probably definitely won't go late into the evening. It just depends on how much debate there is, because they still debate them, because they still have to vote of whether they're going to accept the recommendations or not.
Right.
So that'll probably start at noon, and you and I can live stream however you guys want to do, however you want to do it. We can go into the there's several places we can go and do it, which I don't think would be bad. Did we go to the old house chamber?
Cool.
We could do it in there.
Yeah.
But there may be a lot of people there, because everybody wants everybody wants their 5 minutes of fame to be introduced.
Yeah,
So, they do that during the reconvene as well. So
you got to get your 5 minutes.
Oh, absolutely. But by the way, folks, if I can do some plugging.
Yeah, please plug away.
If you want to contact the Virginia Assembly of Independent Baptists, we lobby for your religious liberty at the General Assembly. We keep you free to worship by the dictates of the Bible, and we oppose any law that would attempt to override that. So if you want to check us out, go to vaib.org. You can contact me directly at director@vaib.org. We'd ask you to get on our Capital Alert email list. That just lets you know, it's a free service, just lets you know what's going on in Richmond. Email me your email address and your name at director@vaib.org. I'll forward that to my staff, and they will get you on the list. Also, pre-order my book that will come out later this summer, Reclaiming Our Constitutional Republic, by emailing me at director@vaib.org.
Awesome. So we'll be back next week live from Richmond.
Live.
And make sure to check out VIAB. They do amazing work. And by the way, you don't even have to be an independent Baptist to sign up for the email list.
Not at all.
It's important information. It's fantastic information. And follow us on the social media stuff. Pretty popular on there sometimes. And so that's kind of fun sometimes. We had a video get 2,000 views. I know people don't.
Really?
I understand people get like millions.
Yeah, and we've been doing this, 2 months?
Yeah. But for a couple of old dudes who are just winging it, that's pretty good, I think.
You speak for yourself.
I still have spurt. Oh, we're gonna go way off topic. I do have spurts of athletic ability left.
Well, my body is riddled with the athletic ability that I had as a teenager. So my athletic days, unfortunately, are gone. But I was good in my day.
So check us out next week. You can find all the information on our socials for all the events we got coming up. We got a lot of events coming up. We're going to do some more apologetic stuff. We're going to see how this one goes on May 9th and then go from there. But all right, thank you guys.
Thanks.